So Joss Whedon recently did an interview with the New York magazine, and instead of at least admitting his mistakes, this guy just incriminated himself even more and even told more lies. So many people have now come forward. Of course, his ex-wife has already, come forward a long time ago. Ray Fisher is the one who currently has been hammering, the nail right on the coffin, trying to get people to see and actually do something for a change about Joss Whedon. Even stars from Buffy the Vampire have come out to confirm all these allegations against him. If you've watched his movies and his TV shows, the one he's directed, his writing, you will notice one thing in common. This guy likes butt shot. He likes putting female characters in a certain light. People think he's fighting for feminism and all that. Sure, on the surface you would think that, but this guy is only exploiting that for what? His own pleasure. If you check the Avengers 2012 and Age of Ultron, and you check the Justice League, you notice one thing in common. He tries to sexualize these female characters, like all these female characters in the movie. He tries one way or another to sexualize them, whether it is a shot from the behind, trying to zoom in a certain part. That is just like him, and that's where this video comes into play. I've compiled them all for you guys to see, so let's get to the video. First off, let's talk of Black Widow. We know the character. She's played by the wonderful Scarlett Johansson, and I know what people will say, hey, you are reaching too much. But if you know the type of person the director is and you see these type of shots, you keep wondering why some of these shots are focused on so much in certain angles and the way it was even shot. But hey, if it was any other director, maybe I'll give the benefit of the doubt. But when you have someone like Joss Whedon, who so many actresses have come out to call him out on some of these shots, some of the behind the scenes stuff, he told the actresses what to do, how to pose and all that, what he wanted them to do, or else, he could ruin their careers. He said the same thing to Gal Gadot. And I decided to rewatch some of these movies to see maybe I was just being paranoid. And I guess I wasn't, because some of these shots, just look at this shot. It's like his favorite pose of Black Widow, always at the backside. He likes shooting Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, from the back. And it's not even her, from his other movies too. Just look at the transition from that scene to this scene. And it's always at a certain angle, just to, portray that side of her. And you would think that it's a coincidence, but when it happens once, and it happens twice, and it happens 3 times, and it goes on and on and on again, right there, you just gotta know that this person, that's how he is. You may also argue that some directors shoot from these kind of angles, but let me ask you, are those directors labeled as predators? Have there been evidences against them? And just look at this. This shot was just unnecessary, but it had to be there.
Sorry. Don't turn green.
The same thing he did in the Justice League. You would think that, maybe this scene is just once, but for him to also implement that type of scene similar in the Justice League that he came to take over, you have to know that it's just not a coincidence at this point. You understand me? There are so many scenes like these in Avengers, and especially in Avengers Age of Ultron, but I don't have that time to make a longer video. If you want to defend him and this, you do you, but you have to wonder, why did Marvel Studios let him go? After he made the successful first Avenger movie and also made Age of Ultron, which was also a success, even though it didn't reach the first one. Now we go to the Justice League, the total disaster of a movie that he decided to make in the image of Marvel. If you think I'm lying, just watch the Justice League. Just go and watch the entire Gal Gadot scenes in the Justice League and in the Snyder Cut, and you will tell me the difference. You will come and testify. This is one of the things that he had an issue with Gal Gadot. Even she came to confirm he had certain demands of her, certain way he wanted her to act and pose, almost identical to the Black Widow shots we saw in Avengers and in Avengers Age of Ultron. It almost feels like an obsession to him, like a kinky thing for him to do. Some of you may say, oh, this shot is in Snyder Cut. But let me ask you. Some of you may say, isn't this shot also in Snyder Cut? But let me ask you, who is the one being accused of being a predator and who's not? And the most infamous one in the Justice League, the one that Gal Gadot just stood the ground and said, nope, I'm not shooting that. And apparently, Joss Whedon threatened her career that she must do what he says and that he has a lot of power and all that. We thought that it's all exaggeration by the newspapers and the reporters, but Gal Gadot came herself and confirmed that yes, he really said those things. Now, there are a lot of similarities, of course. If you've watched the video up to this point, I mean, you have to see it by yourself. Nobody has to tell you. The same type of back shots, there's even multiple scenes of this type of angle in both movies. I think 2 or 3 of them. And the funny thing is, why would you even feel something like this? If it is one time, then it's okay. But why? Twice? Maybe in other shows or movie that he has made that I've never watched, maybe there's even one there. And the funny thing is, Gal Gadot didn't even want to film this shot. He used the stunt double to actually film this. That shows the type of mindset that this guy has, and that he will use any means to get his desires done. As you can see, there are no coincidences. This is deliberate, intentional, and let's hear him give an explanation of why he cut the backstory and all the scenes of Cyborg. He says Ray Fisher is a bad actor and it made no sense. Like, what? Cyborg was the freaking heart of the Snyder Cut. Like, the freaking heart of the whole movie. And most people who have watched have talked the same. So how can you just say this type of lie? Is it that he thinks we haven't watched the Snyder Cut, or I don't understand how he's trying to get away with this. The whole interview is just bizarre, and I don't know which PR or which person actually told him to grant this interview. I hope Warner Bros is watching. The type of guy they hired to come and make a movie for them and yet vilify Zack Snyder. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on all these situations going on with Joss Whedon. All the evidence against him, of course, is there. So there's no, oh, the whole world is against me, all that type of bullshit. No wonder Marvel Studios let go of him after Avengers 1 and 2. We never understood why, like, he wasn't there anymore after those 2 movies. Now we know why. And that's it for the video. As always, Nerdy Sage here. See you in the next one.